One of the first things on the new mayor's agenda is to take care of the city's deficit. Todo el mundo cuenta por el censo, or everyone counts for the census. Maryland's horse racing industry used to be legendary and an integral part of the state's economy. Para esta comunidad in Maryland, la sabor es más diferente. Every year, thousands of people from across the world come to the nation's capital to see one of Japan's most enduring gifts to this country, the cherry blossoms. It's last call for alcohol in Maryland state forests. Since then, restaurants have been able to serve beer and wine on site. But as far as booze to go, Tacoma Park says, not yet. The crash happened on a remote part of the Red Line, and first responders had trouble getting to the scene. The first recall addressed the issue of gas pedal entrapment, in which the driver's side floor mat would accelerate the gas pedal. Completa y regresa forma de censo. I'll tell you what all that means. I'm Tahira Lindsay. Maryland Newsline starts now.
Pero tienen que llenarlo.
You have to fill it out. You have to fill it out, urged the 2010 census volunteers at this year's Latino Festival.
Most of the Latino community doesn't know what the census is.
And the festival was supposed to change that. With posters, pamphlets, and books, volunteers were hoping to break down the fear about the census leading to deportation.
Es que no tenga miedo de llenar la forma, porque la forma no hay ninguna conexión entre inmigración y el census.
Marino Cordova, a Latino liaison for the Prince George's County Planning Commission, says this fear among the Latinos could hurt more than just their communities.
Well, it's very important for everybody living in the United States. That represents money for the county, for the cities, for the states.
Marino says it's important for the Latino community to understand that the census is safe and that no one should have fear about filling it out.
Así que el censo es seguro.
Todo el mundo cuenta por el censo, or everyone counts for the census. But is the Latino community willing to give up their voice to the census to feel safe in their communities? But despite the work of the volunteers, the music, the celebration, and the free transportation, these seats remain empty. No one showed up.
We were expecting about 100 people to show up, but since something happened, maybe they were working or somewhere else.
With the failed attempt to get the word out, the volunteers promised to make sure as many Latinos as possible get counted this year.
This is our commitment. We need to continue, calling them to show up, to come out, to get information.
In Langley Park, I'm Tahira Lindsay for CNS TV.
I was 10 years old the first time I touched that airplane. I knew I was going to be a pilot then.
William Broadwater has been described as a man of courage and honor. A Tuskegee Airman, Broadwater was part of the first unit of African-American pilots who joined the U.S. military in World War II.
Tuskegee Airmen are about brave men who fought 2 essential wars. 1, for the right to fight.
Except in rare cases, African Americans in the military served only in support roles in World War II, and their role has been largely overlooked. Now, those soldiers and airmen, like the flyers from Tuskegee, are getting their due on the big screen. Wings for This Man, the story of the Tuskegee Airmen, was filmed in 1944. It pretty much sat in a box at the National Archives until it was rediscovered recently. The film describes the airmen as students, boys, and workmen, never mentioning their race.
And they were convinced that African Americans didn't have the wherewithal to fight, would not stay in the fight, didn't have the guts, didn't have the fortitude, the intelligence, or the skills to fly airplanes, and more importantly, to work together.
It was here at the National Archives that the Tuskegee Airmen were saluted. But to them, the mission wasn't just about flying. It was about proving that they could be unified and fight for our country.
We're going to be history pretty soon. We know that, real history, right? So we're hoping that the young folks pick up on it and carry it forth as one of the efforts to show the world that black people can do anything anybody else can do if given the opportunity or taught.
In Washington, I'm Tahira Lindsay for CNS TV.